we are seeing the gameplay, and this is a face hunter because that Vorgan Infiltrator kind of gives it away.
Yeah, Worgen Infiltrator is a card that used to be played in Shockedin, but I hadn't seen it in Hunter before GVG came out, and the new adaptations of Face Hunter came to light.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And on the other hand, we have a Paladin, which is the standard mid-range Paladin, I think.
It looks like it, definitely. I mean, there's a BGH there, so it's probably not going to be on the highly aggressive side, and Paladin Shredder seems to indicate that it is something of a value-oriented Paladin deck. Kibler playing tracking
into Abusive Surgeon. That's most likely what will go and happen. We have to say that Unleashed Hounds will be super valuable against Paladin. It's like one of the best cards here. Yeah.
Yeah, when you know there's a possibility of muster for battle, and the 1/1's getting spawned non-stop, you do have to keep that in mind as well.
And the muster for battle is just being picked up. So most likely we'll see hero power up and next turn massive for battle, right?
Yeah,
and
probably. I mean,
you can't
it's
really
not a
gamble.
bad play.
Yeah, you can't really gamble that you will have that your opponent will always have Unleash the Hounds, right?
No, you can't make that assumption. Otherwise, you really end up playing almost nothing, and that's
well,
a bit of
the
a
draw kinda changes the situation because Knife Juggler
really
and
play
Master
both.
for Battle, it's something that can change the whole game against Hunter. The problem is you have already Consecration in your hand, so it's almost similar in concept, right? Because it basically achieves the same thing. So I would rather see here Big Game Hunter or just Massive Battle, and then the 1/1 charges into the 2/1, I mean the 3/1 in this occasion, and then you ignore the Iliok for a second, I think.
Yeah, I mean the upside of the lines of play that you could take with BGH is that you're not really worried about seeing.
Yeah,
I mean, you could maybe see a Doctor Boom, but you might find a Other Peacekeeper by the time that does happen.
yeah, but I would really love to see him play the Big Game Hunter here, because you have to get rid of the Leok. Okay, he kills the Leok anyway. That's very good, because if you would sacrifice the Vorgan Infiltrator and then Unleash the Hounds goes into play with 2 attacks each, that would be like disastrous. And also Kibler is sticking to his game plan, only face damage, and that's how you win against Paladin.
Yeah, you let them make the trades. If you're lucky enough that they don't find what they need very early, you can generally steal the win from them. Consecrate falls down and will remove the board from Kibler, who, I mean, the Paladin is pretty low on health, and the Hunter is at a fairly comfortable range, and unless Strifecro finds healing or taunt, there is still a really good chance that Kibler managed to take the game.
Yeah, we'll have to see what will be the draws. Or like Eagle Bow is perfect. It's 8 points of damage each turn because you have the hero power, which can be squeezed into the perfect curve, and then your bow will deal 6 points of damage itself. So with 2 hero powers and 2 turns, you get 10 points of damage, and you have also Kill Command and Unbeast in your hand. So basically, turn 6 can be 8 points of damage, and that's 1 point of lethal.
So you have to play Lotheb here, I guess, to prevent the insta-lethal potential, but I mean, how do you really counter the game? I know that Strifecro was probably running Defenders of Argus. That seems to be a really obvious card.
Only Leo Jenkins would guarantee lethal here. So you're in a tough spot anyway. Like, I don't see how...
Yeah.
Please forward.
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you have to at least play something on the board that's going to deny the Hunter the ability to just burst you down to the point where you die to hero power on the back end.
But you're in such a bad position. It's turn 5, you got 9 points of HP. You will get at least 3 points next turn, and most likely more than that, because there's hero power. If there will be like a Wolf Rider or Arcane Golem. Well, Arcane Golem and hero power is lethal, so that's like one of the draws that can guarantee that.
Well, Strifecro is going to be trying to put as much damage on the board by playing Juggler and the...
Explosive Trap.
Oh, Explosive Trap is pretty much a...
So you do...
That's sealing the game here for Kibler.
Attack phase and hero power, and that's basically game.
Yeah, because unless the...
wait, how many... No, that's not enough. You got only 10 points of damage with...
Oh, and he finds the Defender of Argus. He does find the Defender of Argus, which is exactly what he needed last game, but it's a bit too late here. The bow got the damage that it needed to. And Kibler is... I mean, he's just going to be taking this game away from Strifecro. I mean,
Well, that was-
despite the fact that Strifecro took the early lead, I mean, he did have the mini bot and the muster for battle, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, definitely. That was really a favorable matchup for Kibler here.
Yeah,
Every single druid has innervates, but not every single druid has wild growths. If you
True,
play like a
that's
token druid, you don't play wild growths then.
that's right.
Double wild growths with Ancient of Lore. Well,
This is good and bad.
yeah, this is both good and bad. If Strifecro would have a slow hand, then this is like insanely good for Kibler. But in this situation, when there's already Mech Warper in Strifecro's hand, this is really looking rough for the druid player.
Yeah, and he's forcing his opponent to have a Wrath here, which I really do like. It says if you don't have Wrath, like if you have Wrath, you're not wild growthing, and if you don't have Wrath, then I just win the game, right? That's
Exactly.
kind of what this Mech Warper is saying at this point. Well,
Exactly. Spider Tank in this position at 4 points of health against Druid is basically saying, okay, you have to use your Druid of the Claw in charge mode or a swipe to get rid of that. And there's still a Mech Warper on the board, which kinda, puts you in a position when you have, like, he has the dot on his forehead that you have to kill that first. And every single creature that will be played next turns will be more powerful than the last turn, most likely. So it's really a hard position for the Druid to make a comeback.
this is a story of Choo Choo the Chugga. I mean, that's the way he rolls. He just freezes you every single turn. And the fun part about, I mean, there is a Kazan Mystic though in the Druid's hand. Like, you have to keep that in mind. If Strifecro goes for some kind of secret play soon, I mean, through Mad Scientist or through his hand otherwise,
I think he will just drop bodies
down.
on the ground, like
drop the
Strifecro-
bodies on the ground. Kill everyone.
Yeah, well, this turn will be Tinkertown Technician. Turn 4 will be either Goblin Blast Mage or just Mad Scientist and Chugga Chugga. And I think Mad Scientist and Chugga Chugga are way better, even if there was something on board from Druid side. Because you still, you will draw into more mechs. Oh, he goes for the Mirror Entity.
Oh man, that's gonna be a happy. Kibler is gonna be taking that secret, I can tell you that
coming.
much.
Like, you just saw a swipe. Why would you think that there's something that will, be really bad for a Tinkertown Technician? This game just turned like 180.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I want to say yes. I like this Innervate Wild Growth, going to allow him to play the Ancient of Lore without having to Innervate next turn. That's really clever from him. Kibler knows that getting something on the board next turn is going to be mandatory, so Innervating out Wild Growth, as weird as it sounds, is still a pretty good play. It's funny that you ramp your ramp. It's
So,
kind of,
yeah, that's true. Very funny. But now Strifecro's forced into playing Mad Scientist into Chugga Chugga, because if there would be no mirror entity from the Druid side, he would just play a 4-mana minion like Pelted Shredder, right?
Yeah, but it's much like when you have a mirror entity, just feed him something that's going to give him 0 value. But
Well, it's not like 0 value. You basically lose a turn and give him a minion.
Yeah, it's the least bad minion to give him at the very least. Imagine if Druids were playing Secrets. This would be devastating. I mean, this would be the worst.
Double Shade of an Extremis. That's very interesting. And there's already a Savage Roar, so I think Kibler will go into a very aggressive mode when he will just ignore whatever will be played on board and kill Strifecro with those shades with a Savage Roar.
He needs to find a force of nature, though. I mean, those 2 shades are good, but on their own, unless Strifecro plays excessively slowly, they're not going to be able to do as much as he might want them to. So, I mean, if he gets double shade next turn with a good Wrath, and then finds himself a force of nature 2 turns down the line.
Good target for Mirror Entity that is now up from Strifecro. So basically play Keeper, Silence, Pelted Shredder, Wrath, Pelted Shredder, kill, or just ignore the board. I mean,
actually,
kill
you can,
the Keeper and just go face. Because basically you want to put the mage into defensive mode when he will be trading, and not the other way around, because you have a really bad comeback mechanism as a druid.
Yep, it's very hard as a druid. If the board goes out of your hands, essentially, swinging back in the game is very tough. I wonder what Kibler's gonna go for. I mean, if he's running double combo, does he even consider just going all out aggression and force the mage to play around turn 9 insta-kill? I'm curious. Because, I mean, if Kibler goes face with that Ancient of Lore, he's representing combo, right? And then Strifecro is gonna be a little scared about that.
When you commit to double shade, then you have to wrap the snow chugger, because you have to get those additional 2 points of damage for the Savage Roar with your hero, and or just not make a move when your opponent can freeze your minions.
Well, what was the point of killing that Clockwork Gnome is what I'm wondering. I feel like it's a bit weird.
Maybe he didn't want to tell Strifecro that he has Savage Roar in his hand, because basically if he would attack in face, it would be like saying, okay, I got Savage Roar, I want to kill you as SAP, right? And with this defensive play, he will go like for longer game, but oh damn, that was so close of turning the game around with that single Goblin Blast Mage.
It's still not too far away. I mean, if you look at this board, I'm not exactly sure. Kibler needs to find something amazing here, because the Shredder and the Blast Mage are contesting this board like no tomorrow. And honestly, for Kibler to compete with those, you know, with only a 3-2,
well,
that doesn't seem very likely. You get a Doomsayer, right? You attack into that Paladin Shredder and you get a Doomsayer. Always.
I think Keeper will be just killing the Cogmaster.
Oh, wow.
Especially with double Savage Roar.
Well, that's kind of getting interesting, but you're dead in 2 turns.
Well, you have to play for the win, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you need to find that combo, though. So I mean, if you do get the combo, how do you win with it? You don't really have enough damage, even with 1 roar.
So let's count the damage. If you kill the Cogmaster, then you get 9 points of damage. You will armor up for 1, so you basically lose anyway.
Yeah.
Within 2 turns. There's no way. Even with the weakest draws from Strifecro,
you would die from the board and just the ping, exactly. So you need to find healing, and then... I mean, you need to find some really funky board state alterations in order to make this swing back in your favor. And I don't know if Kibler can really do it. This is a really lopsided matchup sometimes.
Silence the piloted Shredder, sacrifice the Shade of Extramas, and use 1 Savage Roar to kill the Cogmaster. It feels like you lose the game instantly when you do that, but it's a lose-lose situation.
That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like there's really no good line of play because there is really no good play, right? As weird as it sounds. So he might just trade into the Shredder, and well, if he doesn't trade into the Shredder, then he's playing for the combo play. And
well, I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I thought that when he would kill the Cogmaster with the Keeper, then he would just stay hidden with the Shade. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It just feels like that's what you would expect, but I mean, at this point, Kibler needs to... Actually, there's no win for him. I can't think of a way for him to swing back. I mean, maybe Deathwing.
Trade, sorry for interrupting you, but if he was planning into trading for the Python Shredder anyway, he should have played it first to see the outcome. And
of course, yeah.
Then he would kill the Ooze with the Keeper and not the Cogmaster.
Well, that swipe is, I want to say helpful, but...
Well, it will basically mean that he will live 1 turn, but you have no way of winning game.
Well, we'll see what comes out of that Powdered Sky Golem.
No, you don't kill it, you just ignore it.
I mean, yeah. Well, it's going to just go face and kill you with Fireball afterwards.
Well, what can you do, you know? Even with... Force of Nature, it's only 18 points of damage. Yeah, so you would need a Innervate, Force of Nature, double Savage Roar to kill your opponent. That's 22, 24, 26. Yeah, that would be lethal, but there's no way you can draw 2 cards in 1 draw.
I'm still waiting on Deathwing. Still waiting on Deathwing. I mean, it's been multiple days so far in the Kinguin Pro League, and I still haven't seen a single Deathwing, and I'm really disappointed. He is Power Incarnate, but nobody's running him. Oh, wow. That's
Belcher.
peculiar. Yeah,
That's
kind of interesting. Well,
but
let's see what
does it
comes out of
change
that shred.
anything?
Well, with the reversing switch, I don't think so, but depending on what comes out of the shredder. 4 mana could get a Jeeves, honestly.
Well,
Yeah, I think you have to try to kill the shredder and see where things go. Oh, he's just going
he goes
face and
face.
hoping the mage gets nothing. He's gonna play for the win, hopes he can top deck Savage Roar.
yeah.
And I mean, Force of Nature and his
I
opponent
really
finds
like
nothing.
that. But
And actually,
there's a
right
taunt.
now,
There's the trumpet, right? That
actually,
gives
there's
taunt.
lethal. You attack into the Belcher, you switch it back, you ping the slime, you
Yeah.
attack for 6.
You're very right. But
That is,
we already saw Life Coach missing one lethal with a part. So
Yeah.
we'll see if Strifecro sees it.
I think he will, right? I
Well,
mean,
he's playing 2 creatures now without going for lethal first. So it's BME or just doesn't see it?
no, he's just not thinking about it. What? There's
Oh,
no
he
way
sees
he
it.
misses
Yeah,
that. There is no way he misses that. Come on.
He sees it now. Okay.
All right, there we go. Down goes the slime, and onwards goes. I couldn't believe this. You can't have 2 professional players miss the Spirit Bards win. I mean, I don't believe that. There's no way. So Strifecro takes the win.
I think like most of the players are. He was shaking his head. You saw that, right? Striker was missing
I really want to see what comes out of it.
You think Zoo will make a comeback? Because it's like meant to be. Zoo has to make
Yeah.
a comeback at some point of the game.
Yeah, it will. I mean, one day it will. I don't know when. Maybe the day that you can have like Demon Synergy that's not, Mal'Ganis or Demon Heart. Maybe
they'll
Demon
change
Fire will come back. I don't know.
Bane of Doom. Like I think that's a really cool card, but it really needs to like draw the demons from the whole pool and not only few of those demons because the rest is like too powerful. Doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense, right?
The Strifecro's hand seems to indicate that. Oh,
Oh, wow.
Dread
Is that
Infernal.
the match that we were playing against each other? With
Yeah,
the
that-
Dread Infernals?
that's exactly what we were playing last time. Demon Lock at its finest.
It's like it looks like a mix between Demon Lock and Handlock, right?
Yeah, that's
'Cause-
that's the Demon Hand Lock variant of mid-range lock. There's so many of them now that it's really hard to give them a name, but yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you're looking at. And that innervate for the Kibler's Shade here really puts it out of Hellfire range on turn 4, which is super important.
Very.
She needs to live. She really does need to live.
That's a she.
Well, I say she because Shade is a feminine noun, but I mean,
Well-
it could be Johnny the Shade.
Did you see his specs? Like,
Okay, so it's Johnny the Shade.
yeah, that's
Okay, Johnny the Shade. Okay, sounds good.
Amaz would be really proud of us.
Yeah, Johnny the Shade, and what's the name of the Murloc? I forget.
The spider was Skittles, right?
Skittles.
The spider, yeah, the hunted creeper.
Really?
And
Okay, I didn't know that. All right, that's pretty cool.
I can remember the Murloc though. But
Oh, Billy the Murloc.
Billy?
Billy the Murloc Raider, I'm sure that's it. Chat must be screaming right now. Like all those Amaz viewers must be screaming at us. They're not paying attention to the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about those ancient washes? Will there be like a wailing soul in there?
If there's a Wailing Soul, I will bow down to Strifecro. I mean,
Well,
there was, you know what? Druid actually had when Nax came out. A lot of Druids were trying out Wailing Soul decks, and then Fell Reaver came out, and it came back. Then it was all over again. You had the Wailing Soul cycle with Druid, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I really love the idea of wailing soul decks, and I still think that they will make a comeback when Breeze Mage will be on top, and when there will be more minions that you can take advantage of silencing themselves. So more powerful minions than Zombie Chow.
Yeah, the thing is, you really want to get like Fell Reaver is a good example. The problem is, obviously, it's BGH target, but the worst part is, you are relying on 2 silence options, so that Druid deck was actually effectively running even Spellbreakers and 2 Keepers of the Grove, so it had like 5 silence sources, 1 Spellbreaker, 2 Keepers, and 2 Wailing Souls. So that was a super heavy Wailing Soul deck, and it was super fun, but it didn't work the way that I hoped it would.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well,
Well.
let's talk about the game now, and it feels like There's one card missing in Kibler's hand, and it is Savage Roar.
Yeah, it's close enough, but not quite there. And there's no coil to abuse that that Druid of the Claw right now, funny enough. But Dread Infernal is as good as a coil in this position. It's a mass coil. Rogues are getting mass backstab, but Warlocks have had mass coil for a little while now.
Won't you just play Sylvanas here?
Yeah, you could.
Because you're dead anyway to a Savage Roar or combo or whatever in few turns, and if you don't play the Sylvanas right now, you don't have time to play it afterwards. The other play is Hellfire.
Hellfire's not bad because the Zombie Chow heals you, and you can then play your second Watcher if you want to.
Yeah.
Or Sun Fury to force the Druid to attack. You know, spend 2 mana and attack into your first Watcher. So I could see a good argument to be made for that line of play.
I think Hellfire and Enter Watcher would be the type of play you want to do. Otherwise, oh, he's playing a Watcher and just taunts up. And Dark Bomb? Okay.
And Druid of the Claw goes down. Wow, that's a really expensive Mortal Coil.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really expensive Mortal Coil. Now BGH can't be played. That Shade has reached the critical point of you can't play me as a body now. Well, you could, yeah, you can't silence those guys. You got a Wrath. There's a pretty good, I mean, there's a few options that Kibler has, but ultimately they're all going to be giving the initiative back to Strifecro.
I'm thinking, how can you change the board here? I think that's the turn when you want to unshade the next, right?
God, it feels so bad when you can just get an auto win with it, right?
Yeah, that feels really bad. But
I don't hate the Wrath hero power and then just wait a little bit before you establish more of a board even.
So maybe it's even better to just play Druid of the Clone taunt mode and sacrifice your Zombie Chow to kill the Ancient Watcher.
Well, that's not a bad draw.
Well, yeah, Loatheb is
that's
way
a
better.
sick draw, actually, yeah.
I
mean, you're not afraid of dying, and if there's a Shadow Flame, it's gonna cause. He can't play Shadow Flame with the Loatheb if you do play it, so your board is somewhat safe to an extent. Alright, goes for the taunt play. Into Siphon Soul you go, but there's none, unfortunately. Strifecro was probably betting on his ability to kill that 4/6. At this point in the game, you would expect him to be able to, but unfortunately, he can't.
So I think he's pushed into playing Hellfire this turn, because then you can kill both creatures, I mean Zombie Chow and the Druid of the Claw, and still get a draw from the Immortal Coil.
What if Dread Infernal Coil is done? I mean, you could kill Druid of the Claw with Hellfire and get the 5 health back, but you don't develop a board, so it's really, I guess it's a toss-up. And he goes and plays Sylvanas, a turn after the turn you would have maybe played it. And I'm curious to see...
you know, my play was just because I saw both hands of the opponents.
Right.
It was like really easy when you see both hands, but when you play that game and you have to predict what's going on, then the Sylvanas play wasn't so obvious, that's for sure.
Oh man, if you don't play Loatheb here, what if Sylvanas... He has to silence Sylvanas if he doesn't go face. Because imagine a Shadow Flame with Sylvanas at this point. Imagine that. That would be devastating, so... You have to either Loatheb to prevent the Shadow Flame or play the Keeper of the Grove to deny the Sylvanas value. And he is going to get himself some pretty nice... I mean, he's going to remove the taunts for the time being, and that's going to force Strifecro to find a way to taunt up again, and he's only got a Sludge Belcher, so it's going to have to be a board wipe or a super high amount of heal.
That's an interesting turn. I think attacking into the undamaged Watcher is better and kill it with the Druid of the Claw.
But you can kill the other one with your... I guess the upside of that play that you mentioned is the fact that it would die to Hellfire, but by attacking into the other one, it also dies to your hero power next turn, so... Oh, Loatheb is not a bad card, but... Is it good enough? Actually, yeah, you play Loatheb and then you Earthring Farseer, you're Ancient. That's a bit frustrating. Oh man, there's a BGH for Malaganis if that does come down.
That's true. Well, but 9/9 shade.
Yeah, that's getting really high, and that's the thing. That's why Sylvanas needed to be dealt with. I mean, if she gets that shade, the Druid's entire waiting period, him lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right time, was completely wasted. So that silence on Sylvanas was pretty solid. Yeah, I really like healing up the Ancient Watcher, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it. That way, Druid of the Claw, I mean, the face just doesn't cut it.
Yeah,
And that's
definitely a good
exactly
move.
what's done. Oh my goodness. What a setback.
So now you have to play your own low tip or just Ancient of Lore. I think Ancient of Lore was way better. Then you can draw into
Swipe? Yeah.
Innovate Second Savage Roar.
Actually, that would probably be the best outcome possible. Because you can use your face to kill the Washer, and then you just go face with a Shade that hits for a total of 14. That would be obscene. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
14
I can imagine that.
damage Shade. This is disgusting. Oh
Well-
man, straight out of Nax Ramus.
You have to go with the Ancient of Lore, that's for sure.
Oh, we say that, but we've said that about multiple lines of play that were made by a lot of players in the past, and we were wrong, so I guess our evaluation of the plays that they take are maybe based on us seeing both hands.
Yeah, for sure. We're biased, you know?
Yeah, pretty biased, but still, he goes for the play, and I think it makes quite a bit of sense.
Well, it wouldn't make sense if we would have that Piloted Shredder before the Ancient of Lore draw. Like, a low tip Piloted Shredder would be the best thing you can do on turn 9, I think.
Well.
Well, you kill the Ancient of Lore really easily, and then play Belcher. I think that's basically it. Oh, and
I kind of
Giant.
like anti-healbot. Like or it's Belcher or Healbot. I feel like both of them are
Well,
acceptable.
Belcher will eat at least 7 points of damage, so it's
It's
like
a Healbot.
yeah, it's a heal bot, and it gets you more value because there's a second minion, which is just a
Oh, that's a
Pain in
big
the
draw
back.
here, getting that Belcher out of the way.
yeah.
When/if necessary.
So now low tip into Keeper, right?
I like the Keeper more than the Shredder just because it guarantees that if you find that Innervate,
That changes
well, whatever, yeah. In this
it
case,
just
we're gonna
adds
deal with
1
the-
point of damage from the hero power. But can you kill next turn when you don't
But
think
that would be
he can?
lethal, actually. If he silences the sludge and finds the...
He doesn't know that there's an ancient heal bot, and I think Strifecro will actually use it next turn.
And the Shade is going to the double digits. This is getting really scary for a 3-drop. Oh, man.
Well, value of that shade is basically none for now.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
the moment
it's
it
like
can
2
go and do
cards.
anything. Yeah.
You know, there's an Innervate in that, and a Shade of Nextramas, and it doesn't guarantee you win. So it feels like it's kinda not giving you back anything apart from the intimidation to your opponent, but that doesn't really change much for now. So now Strifecro will be counting like how many creatures, how many points of damage will be it with the combo and the shade, and you know that 4 points will be soaked by the one ancient watcher. So basically the combo will get you 10, and then you will get 12 from the shade, so that's 22, so you're 1 of lethal. If you of course clear both minions.
Yeah, which is why you need the Innervate for the hero power. Which that's exactly why he needs it at this point. And I feel like there are so many lines of play that can be taken by... Like, Strifecro's options are... I mean, this turn they're fairly limited because of Lothar, but he can still wipe the board very effectively.
So he will drop the ancient healbot, like most certainly, I think.
Oh, I'd be sad if he didn't, because that would be...
That's game.
that's game at that point if he doesn't do
Yeah.
that. I don't think he'll make the mistake of not playing around combo. It's too common and too obvious.
Well, the other play was Dread Infernal, and he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, of course not.
So yeah.
Well,
That's not bad. You're not threatened by lethal next turn from the Warlock. So
oh man, you know what would be
Kibler is
amazing?
nothing.
Double power overwhelming into Shadow Flame. On a 3/3, man, this Shade would cry. So hear it cry until the end of time.
I think you just play Wild Group first, see your draw,
Yeah,
or you
and then
count
develop,
on Ancient of Law into Innovate,
Well,
then
you can play both,
Piloted
honestly.
Shredder. Well, if you
Yeah.
draw Wild Growth into Innervate, then you play Ancient of Lore, and then you can't Innervate Piloted Shredder. So maybe Ancient of Lore Fist is better because of that.
Yep.
Dr.
Oh,
Boom.
Dr. Boom.
Yeah, I don't blame Kibler playing here Wild Growth at the second card. I really like that.
Well, if he needs to find ideally Innervate and his Savage Roar.
Well,
that's a
if
dead
he
card.
would use the Wild Growth first, he would get Dr. Boom. That would be way better.
Yeah,
than
in
the
this
Ancient Lore.
specific case, it would have been better. Yeah.
That's the one card that would be better than anything else in the deck, right?
Oh, there's a few. So I guess you double coil in this position, or you can go for Dread plus coil, but you could also just Void Caller double coil.
Do you want to risk combo Innervate Rev to kill your Watcher? I don't think you want to do that.
You mean Strifecro? Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't feel like something you want
If
to
you
do.
would use Infernal, that would be basically it.
Yep. Strifecro's got to get a little worried because that Ancient Watcher is the only thing standing between him and certain death. He's got to feel a little uncomfortable. Well, he's going to start the counterattack, but there's still no looming lethal next turn.
Yeah. Well, what can... Oh! Now the second Innervate is somewhere there. But
What
you
if
have
you
to
just
use your
play...
cards defensively.
What if
This
you
is
play Belcher Shredder? I feel like this is a pretty straightforward play. It's
Yeah.
boring, mind you, but
I think
it's
that's
the only
best
way you're
option.
gonna like you're gonna stabilize with a pretty high chance of with a pretty high certainty.
And still the Shade is basically doing nothing. It's like
And if a
crazy.
Doomsayer comes out
Crazy.
of that, I'm gonna cry.
Oh!
That's a top deck.
That's an important draw.
Yeah, definitely. Strifecro here getting himself the ability to slow down his opponent even more. That Watcher was the last Rampart before
So-
Strifecro just got obliterated by combo, but the Thunder of Argus is going to stop
You know
that.
what you should do here is drop the Infernal and play Defensive Argus on your Void Color and whatever, and then if the Void Color is being killed, then there's a 50-50 of you getting Melganis and being invulnerable to anything.
Yeah, but I think you could also just go full face, depending on... That Sludge Belcher also needs to eventually
you
die.
have
I'm just
to
curious
kill-
to see what Strifecro was going to want to do, because he has the option of going full offense, but it's kind of risky when you consider the fact that the Druid might have some sort of a double... Oh, that's lethal! What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Wait, the Zombie Chow heal him? No, it doesn't. Wait,
No,
what?
it doesn't. It's really interesting.
Wow, that's really interesting.
That was brought up on Reddit.
Yeah.
Like 1 day ago. So during week 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there was a really sick sweep from Zixo and Kibler. So Kibler, what he wants to do here is equalize the scores, because if he goes 2-1, then the Strifecro also goes from 2-0 to 2-1. So they'd be both on the exact same win rate.
Well,
the
there's a
entire-
really nice draw from Kibler here. Like the curve is really good. Turn 1, turn 2, into Frostbow to against anything.
Well, that's a really good hand for Strifecro too. That Cog
Yeah.
Hammer is going to be devastating against a Mech Mage. That takes essentially 3 minions away.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, well, I can
Oh,
just.
man.
It
Don't you
felt
hate
like
this?
it's like a good hand, but now that mini bot just ruined your whole plan.
Well, the one good thing, I guess, is that the Cog Hammer is not going to be coming out now. So at least the shielded mini bot is not going to get reshielded.
That's
potential.
true, but if Kibler doesn't see the Cog Hammer going down, then he can ignore the 2-2, and that will guarantee that value from that. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
So
the
basically,
Cog Hammer.
now it will be a 1-1 trade for the mini bot. Well, 2-1 trade, because if you count the Cog Master.
Yeah, I really do like that line of play. I feel like you're setting yourself up to get a potential, even if you get a smallish minion, worst case scenario is going to be a mini bot or a knife juggler, right? Those are kind
a
of the
Peacekeeper.
smallest things. Yeah, like the smallest thing you're going to get is like a shielded mini bot or a juggler, so you're pretty happy about pretty much anything you get.
Oh, he doesn't trade. Okay.
Playing for value. Okay. Can't
I don't
blame him,
blame
but
him.
that's going
Yeah,
to backfire a little bit here with that cog hammer.
It will cost him the spider tank, and that's really important when you have a blessed mage in your hand. You know, on turn 4.
Definitely.
Well,
Well,
I don't. I
Is
think
there-
the cog hammer is the best thing. Peacekeeper doesn't
Yeah.
really change so much, right?
it doesn't. Well, I mean, you could play for value into the mad scientist, I guess, but at that point, why would you give him the
No.
potential blast mage value?
2
Definitely
blast
going to be a
mages.
straightforward play. But then again, look at the Kibler's board position of 4-5. Doesn't even die a choose over champion, and he's got himself a blast mage and a mirror entity. Oh my god!
Oh man, that feels bad.
That is a huge draw.
That was like
Oh
a
my goodness.
Russian that's mirable, you know?
Yeah, I took that from him last Thursday. You know.
Yeah, but
I
they
got-
added the Slavic accent.
Yeah, the Slavic accent. Huge draw.
Oh, I was Scottish now, so never mind.
Yeah, you went full Scottish mode on me, man. Don't do that. All right. Are you from Cardiff?
I
Well.
just. Oh.
Well, that's I mean that's actually mediocre. You don't feel good about this, but you have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that zombie Chow putting back the mage on the back foot. This doesn't further his agenda one bit. Not even close. You know, like a New World Order doesn't want to give health back to his opponents. That's what they don't do. Well, man. Do you
I
just
would like-
deny the mech, right?
Yeah, I think so. I would really like to say that Kibler has slim chances here. But it
Well,
doesn't
you
feel
find
like
yourself an
so.
Archmage Antonidas, and well, you're gonna get Lotheb. Never mind. You need to find the spare part that gives you stealth. Well, then again, look at this board state. There is really no way for Strifecro to swing back, and that's a really nice hit from the Blast Mage, removing the Aldor Skill Keeper.
Well, okay, that was really important, that draw.
Do they just keep top decking one another until the end of this
I
game?
think
Because
so.
based on the hands, I can't tell you who's ahead, and then all of a sudden I just keep seeing, you know, top deck after top deck, and it
So-
balances out.
So next turn, it has to be Dr. Boom, right? And
Yeah, it's
then
gonna be Dr.
Antonidas,
Seven.
right?
Definitely. It's yep, Dr. Boom into Antonidas.
Well, you
I
first
don't
think
see
it down
why not.
technician for stealth.
Right, if you you're gonna be getting a mech. Well, I mean if it wasn't for that zombie Chow, the paladin would be in really deep trouble. Oh,
Well,
double
that's
tinker
not
down.
bad. That's not bad.
No, I don't think we can say it's bad. I think it's actually pretty solid. And the
And there's
stealth.
stealth. Okay, so now
Oh man.
now he has the second stealth.
Okay, no. If that Archmage comes out, this is gonna be the most devastating Archmage of all time.
Unless there will be an equality into consecration draw.
Well, there's a Lotheb, but it's not gonna. Oh, Black Knight is such a dead card until you find the hello, hello, hello.
Well, he didn't get a trumpet from these Yeti parts. The Black Knight is kinda, as you said, kinda dead. Still nice to see that Crucible Champion getting some value, but 4 million is nothing to sneeze on, I think. You're 19.
Yeah, 19. I don't.
Like, that zombie chow was so important.
It really was for
yeah.
Strifecro.
I think that was one of the most important draws that you could have done.
Well, what are we getting? And
Oh,
Dr. Boom, a little
and you
late,
could even
but
stealth it. And you
yeah,
have to
I would do
it.
that all day. You have to do it. Look at the amount of damage this guy's gonna deal.
And Kibler's face is like, oh, that's not bad. Yeah, not.
Not a terrible card to find. And there's no equality concept to go with this, so
So
Strifecro, I'm sorry, this
you
is not.
go with Hero Power Quartermaster. I think that's what you have to do. Well, you kill the technician with the Pallet Shredder, right?
Yeah, see what comes out of it.
Or you just sacrifice. No, you can't. You don't want to risk killing one bomb killing the Pallet Shredder or the outcome after the Pallet Shredder. So yeah, that's definitely better.
So he does trade, and we're gonna see where the bombs go. If he even attacks a bomb. Oh
nice
man. Okay. If there had been an equality in that hand.
So
If there had been an equality.
double fireball is lethal. One fireball.
Oh,
one
wait,
fireball will be
7?
9. Wait. 6, 10, 13. That's 15.
Well, you just re-stealth, right?
Yeah, I think you do.
Easy life. When in doubt, just re-stealth. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you just sacrifice. Well,
Are you afraid of the pyro, though? Yeah, you kind of have to be afraid of the
I
equality
think
pyro.
you sacrifice the bombs.
Yeah.
Because you will have lethal with those 2 frostbolts anyway, unless of course there's a heal or low tip, but that Kibler can't play around it. So
Well, you have to frostbolt face at least once to make sure there's no true silver. And like you just go frostbolt at least once,
Mhm.
and then you can
that's
trade
it.
into the wild pyro if you feel like it. I wouldn't fault him for that. All right. Well, he's not going to.
Is he playing both frostbolts? That's really nice. Yeah, he's playing both frostbolts, I think.
You could keep one, but I wouldn't
That's
fault him
defi-
for.
I think that's definitely clever to play both if you draw a fireball, but he didn't go for that, so never mind.
Oh man, Strifecro is just dead on board.
So it's 3, 6, 10, 12, 15 points of damage, 17 points of damage, what you can squeeze out of your cards.
But you can't find it lethal, and Dr. Boom getting double stealthed. That's
And you don't
essentially
have any taunters.
no health, no health gain, no taunt. That's game. Strifecro just falls down to the mech mage as Pally. Well, you know what they said. Paladin's good, but sometimes mech mage just gets that early curve that makes them want to die. Even with the zombie chow, mech mage took the game. I'm actually really surprised by that. I feel like Paladin would stand an even better chance. I mean, does
You're
he run?
surprised?
But let's say if a minion takes damage, I can't tell you how much health it has left.
Well, what can I say is that I really know what will both players do on turn 2.
Yeah. Oh man.
That-
Kibler
that's
finds a
happening.
second wild growth.
So that's the second game with a second wild growth. And this... Well, he lacks the Ancient of Lore this game. So this might be not so good at all. I really
Well,
like the
it's
line of
coming
play
next
from
round.
Strifecro that he just dropped the Peacekeeper as a free. I really like that.
Yeah, it's like you played for tempo. It's like sometimes you play Earthling Farseer in this spot for the body, that's pretty much the same thing. I mean, he's already at 30 health, so he wouldn't get health from the Earthling Farseer, but he's not going to do anything with the Aldor. The thing is, I feel like the opportunity cost of dropping the 3/3 is also pretty steep in a way, because you are losing the potential to negate a really big minion later on.
Oh, I don't blame him for playing the free because
Yeah.
you just put board control, and I think that's most important thing against Druid. You have to get board control as soon as possible. The problem is when your opponent is having like wild growth and will just out race you with the
Yep.
big minions. That might be a problem. But still, there was a second Peacekeeper in Strifecro hand, so that's also a factor. Why did he play the first Peacekeeper? But I think he would play it
Definitely.
anyway without even the second one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you have a True Silver champion on the back end. You've got a decent mid game with Sylvanas, so you can stop the Druid from being overly aggressive.
You have to think, what will I do on turn 5 and turn 6? And I think playing Lotep and Sylvanas is kind of the best thing you can do against a Druid.
Yeah, you're on curve, and anything he tries to establish is going to have to get slowed down pretty drastically. Well, Kibler goes for his own Lotheb, so that will stop nothing. I guess muster for battle, but that wouldn't have done anything in this position.
Well,
Strifecro has to make a call. I guess you just attack in the 1-2 with your 3-3 and then
yeah.
trade
and
with
then
your True Silver with a 3-2. Or you play
I
your own
think just play
Lotheb.
Lotep is way better.
Okay, just getting the bigger body.
Yeah. You have the board control still, and there's no way of swipe coming down.
It's kind of interesting because Druid in this position, even if he had a swipe, wouldn't even be able to do much with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
And-
basically killed 2 minions, but gets no further initiative.
Yeah, the problem is that every single creature that is on Strifecro's side is making a big problem for Kibler's minions, because the 5/5, if you trade the Lotep into one of the Peacekeepers, then you're very, very weak to Consecration. especially with the second Peacekeeper, which will just trade for your Piloted Shredder, and then most likely the outcome will be a 3-2, which will die to Consecrations, which is really weak.
Yeah, and there's also the problem of Coghammer, right? You've seen that before, so
Yeah.
if your Lothar is on 2 health, everything's just suddenly looking even bleaker for you. You don't want to throw everything to the Paladin's weapons.
Very true.
That weapon is largely underappreciated. I vote that we just make a crusade, a campaign, to make people love the Coghammer even more. You don't see enough of it. Oh man, there was a swipe.
Well, the swipe is really important. So now you swipe. So you attack the no, that's bad. Wait, first was Piloted Shredder, right? Then Sylvanas was being played.
Yeah, he's gonna get something for sure, unless Force of Nature is played and he gets a tree, right? That's pretty much the best outcome Kibler could hope for, but even that's not gonna do anything, because the trees die, which means Sylvanas doesn't get them.
So you go Piloted Shredder into Sylvanas, you see the outcome, and then you decide what to do next. If it's a minion that's kind of valuable to you, you go with Force of Nature, trade. Well, it doesn't seem...
Okay, well that's interesting.
It's really a tough call if you want to kill those Peacekeepers. Like, you can kill one.
Oh, he gets a Snow Chugger.
Oh,
that's incredible. Oh my goodness. That hero power from the Druid now is negated, and the worst part is he can't actually benefit from the combo anymore. And Strifecro has a little smile on his face here, realizing, well, Force of Nature Savage Roar is suddenly only 12 damage. If he does find it. Oh man, that's pretty devastating for Kibler.
Well, he has to play Dr. Boom right now, right? There's no other way.
Smash that boom. It's just...
You
what's
have
the
to build
choice?
board control. Then on turn 9, you can play Rev, Swipe, Hero Power. No, you can. You'll be still frozen most likely. Unless Snow Chugger will be used to freeze that Dr. Boom.
Oh, Muster and Quartermaster.
Wow. Turn 8. That's Dr. 8. Right? Quartermaster 8.
Okay, there's no doctors in that team. Unless those guys are surgeons.
But you do that.
I really don't think so.
That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
There's no way Druid can make a comeback from that kind of board.
Yeah, summon the field medics and let's make the Druid bleed here. I really don't know what he can do with this. I mean, there's no... If Starfall were a thing at all, then I would say, yeah, there's a somewhat decent chance, but at this point, how do you even deny the value that Kibler is going to be forced to give to his opponent?
There's just no way you can win against that.
You need...
Well...
Double swipe might help, but it's not...
With an Azure Drake on board, maybe.
Oh, you know what? No, I was going to say, you play your own Shredder, then you Wrath it, but even Doomsayer wouldn't help. Because it's not on your opponent's side, so what does it really do?
It will hit face.
Oh, wow.
I said it.
The art of being useless.
Well, you
By
lose the game.
Boombot.
3, 6, 9, 11, 12, and for Silver Champion and Consecration.
Yep, I was going to seal the game.
Yep. So
Kibler doesn't see the lethal, but...
wins the whole match.
A really close series, though. You have to give that to Kibler at the very least. I mean, Strifecro is one of the strongest players in the scene, and Kibler, I can't say played badly. It's just that sometimes the draws don't line up, and Strifecro's Paladin deck was also pretty good with that Coghammer against the Mech Mage. That was a pretty good early game, and Kibler did win a really unfavorable... I guess the start of the game with the Zombie Chow and the Mirror Entity was really strong for the Paladin, but ultimately